All right, so today we're going to take a deep dive into something pretty interesting. Uniqlo and their success with Gen Z. You know the brand. Known for kind of simple, clean-cut styles and some surprisingly innovative fabrics. We're going to try to figure out why this brand, which you might not immediately think of as trendy, is absolutely killing it with these younger shoppers. We've got a few fascinating articles and data points to sift through, so buckle up.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Uniqlo is sort of this paradox in the fast fashion world. It's affordable, which usually means sacrificing quality, but they've actually built a reputation for well-made clothes that last. And that's a big part of their appeal, especially I think for Gen Z, a generation that is known for being pretty conscious about their spending and,
Yeah.
their impact on the world.
Right. You'd think they'd be all about those like flash in the pan trends. But over a third of Uniqlo sales in 2023 came from women under 29. So there's clearly something deeper going on here.
Yeah, I think it goes beyond just the price point. It's the philosophy. I mean, Uniqlo's CEO, Tadashi Yanai, is very vocal about this. They don't chase trends. Instead of churning out clothes that are out of style in a season, they focus on creating these kind of timeless basics that can be styled in tons of different ways.
So it's kind of like building that capsule wardrobe
Wow.
where you can mix and match pieces
Yeah.
to create a bunch of different looks
Yeah,
without, needing an overflowing closet.
exactly. And that really taps into, I think, Gen Z's desire for
Huh.
sustainability and mindful consumption. They're not interested in that kind of disposable fashion. They want clothes that they can wear for years, not just for a few Instagram posts.
That makes total sense.
Mm.
And it probably helps that Uniqlo's clothes are known for being so comfortable and functional, thanks to those innovative fabrics. I've got to admit, I'm personally obsessed with their Heattech and AIRism lines.
Oh, yeah. Those are definitely some of their star players. Heattech is like magic, for those colder climates. It's designed to trap heat close to your body without the bulk of traditional thermal wear. I've heard some people even describe it as like wearing a warm hug.
Uh-huh, I can see that. And then there's AIRism, which is like the opposite. Super lightweight and breathable, perfect for hot weather or, working out.
Yeah, and that's where you see how Uniqlo is really tapping into the needs of that target audience. Gen Z is busy, they're on the go, they want clothes that can keep up with their lifestyle. So comfort and functionality are huge. It's not just about looking good, it's about feeling good and being able to move freely.
Okay, so we've got quality basics at a good price point, plus fabrics that actually perform.
Yeah.
But how are they getting the word out? Their marketing seems much more low-key than, say, Zara's constant stream of new arrivals.
Yeah, their marketing strategy is actually quite clever. They take this more subtle approach that focuses on building relationships and trust with their customers. So it's less about those flashy ads and more about fostering a sense of community and genuine appreciation.
I've also noticed they're really strategic with their collaborations. They partner with designers and figures who are respected and admired by their target audience,
Mm-hmm.
like the Roger Federer collection by J.W. Anderson.
Yeah, their collaborations are a really smart way to add a touch of exclusivity and coolness without compromising their core values. The Roger Federer line, for example, managed to blend sporty and elegant styles, which really resonated with a broad audience. And then you have the Uniqlo Ines de la Fursange collection, which leans into that timeless Parisian elegance. This is another example of them tapping into a specific aesthetic that's really popular with their target demographic.
It's like they're elevating their brand image. Beyond just being a place to get basic staples,
Right. It's subtle, but it works. They're offering something unique and aspirational, but without the high price tag or the fleeting trends that you see with some other brands.
and then of course there's the sustainability aspect,
Mm-hmm.
which is a huge deal for Gen Z. They seem to be going beyond just lip service.
Absolutely. Their RE.UNIQLO program is a good example of that. It encourages customers to bring back their old Uniqlo clothes to be recycled and reused, which helps to, reduce textile waste and promote a more circular fashion economy. They're also incorporating more recycled materials into their products and working to reduce their environmental impact across their entire supply chain.
It sounds like they're taking those concrete steps towards a more sustainable future,
Yeah.
which is something that Gen Z really values.
Exactly. It's not just about looking good. It's about doing good. And for Gen Z, who are growing up with climate change being a very real concern, that alignment of values is crucial.
All right, so we've established that Uniqlo is doing a lot of things right to attract Gen Z. Quality basics, innovative fabrics, subtle but effective marketing, and a commitment to sustainability. But what about the competition? They're up against some major players in the fast fashion game, like Zara and Shein. How do they stack up?
That's where it gets really interesting. We've got some data from spatial.ai that sheds light on how they're performing in the market. Overall, Uniqlo boosted their market share from 4.8% to 7.3% in 2024. But what's even more impressive is their growth among Gen Z. They jumped from 8.9% to a whopping 12.8% market share within that specific segment.
Wow, those are some serious gains. What about the competition? How are they faring with Gen Z?
Zara, which is known for its trendy styles and higher prices, hardly saw any growth among Gen Z during that same period.
So it seems like Uniqlo is winning over Gen Z by offering something different.
Exactly. Zara is playing a different game, focusing on capturing those latest trends and appealing to a broader audience. But Uniqlo is clearly resonating with Gen Z's desire for quality, sustainability, and a more timeless aesthetic. They're not chasing every micro trend. They're building a brand that's designed to last.
We were just talking about Zara's approach, which seems to be all about those fast-moving trends. How does Shein fit into all this? They've kind of exploded in popularity with their ultra-fast fashion and, super low prices.
Yeah, Shein is a fascinating case study. They've definitely tapped into this desire for, constant newness and affordability, which has definitely resonated with a segment of Gen Z. But their approach is almost the polar opposite of Uniqlo's. They're all about volume, speed, and, riding the wave of the latest
So
trends.
it's like a quantity over quality approach.
In a way, yes. But, we can't ignore their success. Shine's growth has been phenomenal, especially among those younger shoppers who are looking for affordable ways to experiment with different styles. However, their model also raises concerns about sustainability and, ethical production practices, which are becoming increasingly important considerations for Gen Z.
Right. We talked about Uniqlo's efforts in those areas, but Shine's reputation isn't quite as squeaky clean.
Exactly. And that could be a vulnerability for them in the long run. As Gen Z becomes more aware of the impact of their purchasing decisions, I think brands that prioritize sustainability and ethical practices are likely to have a stronger appeal.
Speaking of appealing to Gen Z, Uniqlo's been making some strategic moves in terms of their store locations. One of the articles mentioned their expansion in Texas, which seems a bit surprising. You'd think they'd stick to, big cities,
Yeah.
where their target demographic is concentrated.
Yeah, it might seem counterintuitive, but their Texas expansion is actually a very calculated move. They've been strategically targeting areas with a high concentration of what they call fusion families, which are essentially diverse families, often living in suburbs, with a significant Gen Z presence. These families are tech-savvy, they value experiences, and are very open to trying new brands that align with their values.
So it's not just about chasing that, urban hipster crowd. They're looking at the bigger picture and identifying pockets of opportunity in different markets.
Exactly, they're doing their research. And, understanding the demographics, the lifestyle trends, and the cultural nuances of these new markets. They're not just opening stores randomly. They're being very deliberate about where they choose to expand.
So it sounds like Uniqlo is really thinking long-term. They're building a brand, not just chasing those fleeting trends.
Absolutely. And that kind of strategic thinking is crucial for any brand that wants to succeed in today's rapidly evolving retail landscape. They're adapting to the changing needs and values of their target audience, and they're staying ahead of the curve by anticipating future trends.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit. We've talked about Uniqlo's strengths, their competition, their marketing strategies, and, their growth trajectory. But what about the bigger picture? What are some of the broader cultural trends that are shaping Gen Z's fashion choices? And how is Uniqlo positioned to navigate those trends?
That's a great question. One of the most significant trends, I think, is the rise of gender-fluid fashion. Gen Z is rejecting those traditional gender norms and embracing a more fluid approach to style. They're mixing and matching pieces from different departments, creating looks that are unique and expressive. They're less concerned with labels and more interested in expressing their individual identities.
And how is Uniqlo responding to this shift? Are they embracing that kind of gender neutrality in their designs and marketing?
They are, although it's been a gradual evolution. They've definitely expanded their offerings of gender-neutral clothing options, and their marketing campaigns have become more inclusive, featuring a wider range of models and styles that reflect the diversity of their customer base. They're moving away from overly gendered language and imagery and focusing on creating a brand that feels welcoming and accessible to everyone.
That makes sense. It seems like being inclusive and embracing individuality is a smart move for any brand that wants to really connect with Gen Z.
Definitely. And it aligns with Uniqlo's overall philosophy of simplicity and versatility. Their clothes are designed to be mixed and matched, layered, and, styled in all sorts of different ways. They're not dictating how people should dress. They're providing the building blocks for individuals
Hmm.
to create their own unique style.
Another trend that's been gaining momentum is that focus on secondhand and vintage clothing. Gen Z is embracing that idea of giving clothes a second life, both for sustainability reasons and for, that unique style that vintage pieces offer. They're thrifting, upcycling, and customizing their clothes, creating looks that are both eco-conscious and one of a kind.
Yeah, it's a really interesting trend that speaks to Gen Z's creativity and resourcefulness, and Uniqlo is actually tapping into this in a clever way.
How so? I wouldn't necessarily think of Uniqlo as a brand that encourages secondhand shopping.
They're not directly selling vintage clothing, but they're embracing that concept of circularity. They're partnering with secondhand clothing platforms and promoting the idea of reusing and repurposing their clothes. They're encouraging their customers to think beyond just buying new and to consider the entire life cycle of their garments. They're also highlighting the durability and quality of their clothes, emphasizing that they're designed to last, which makes them ideal for the secondhand market.
That's smart. They're aligning themselves with a trend that's gaining traction without compromising their core business model.
Exactly, and it reinforces their commitment to sustainability, which, as we've discussed, is a key factor for Gen Z.
Okay, so Uniqlo seems to be on the right track with embracing these cultural trends. But what about the future? What are some of the challenges they might face? In maintaining their momentum with Gen Z, the fashion landscape is constantly evolving and, tastes can change quickly.
That's true. I think one potential challenge is that constant pressure to innovate. Gen Z is tech-savvy and has high expectations for online shopping experiences. They're looking for brands that offer seamless online shopping, personalized recommendations, and innovative features like virtual try-on. Uniqlo has been making strides in this area, but they need to continue to invest in technology and enhance their online platform to keep pace with the competition.
It's like they need to blend their brick-and-mortar presence with a cutting-edge online experience.
Exactly. And they need to do it in a way that feels authentic and true to their brand identity. They can't just copy what other fast fashion brands are doing. They need to find their own unique approach to digital innovation.
Another potential challenge, I think, is the economic landscape. Inflation, rising costs, and supply chain disruptions are putting pressure on all retailers, including Uniqlo. They've been known for their affordable prices, but they might have to adjust their pricing strategy if costs continue to rise.
Yeah, that's a valid concern. However, I think their focus on quality and durability could actually work in their favor in this environment.
How so?
Well, if people are becoming more budget conscious, they're likely to prioritize investments in pieces that will last longer. They might be less likely to splurge on trendy, fast fashion items, and more inclined to invest in well-made basics that can be worn for multiple seasons. So Uniqlo's reputation for quality and durability could position them well as consumers become more discerning about their purchases.
So their focus on timeless style and quality could actually be a competitive advantage in an economic downturn.
Potentially, yes. It all depends on how they communicate their value proposition and adapt their marketing strategies to address that changing consumer mindset.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here. From Uniqlo's unique position in the fast fashion landscape to their strategies for connecting with Gen Z and navigating future challenges. It's clear that they're doing a lot of things right, but they'll need to stay agile and adaptable to maintain their success in the long run.
I agree. It'll be fascinating to see how they continue to evolve and innovate in the years to come. They've proven that they're not afraid to challenge conventional thinking and take calculated risks, which is a recipe for continued success in the ever-changing world of fashion.
Yeah. So we've talked about the challenges Uniqlo might face, but I'm kind of curious about the potential opportunities here. What are some areas where they could really make a splash with Gen Z in the future?
Well, one area where I think they have a lot of potential is in leveraging technology to really enhance the customer experience. We touched on this briefly, but I think it's worth diving a bit deeper. Imagine like a Uniqlo app that not only allows you to shop online, but also, provides personalized style recommendations based on your preferences, body type, and even your local weather conditions.
That'd be pretty cool. It's like having a personal stylist right in your pocket.
Exactly. They could even incorporate, virtual try-on features that use augmented reality to let you see how different clothes would look on you before you actually buy them.
That would definitely save me from some dressing room disappointment.
For sure. And, let's not forget about the potential of social media. UNIQLO could tap into user-generated content more effectively, encouraging customers to share their UNIQLO outfits and style tips. They could even create interactive challenges and contests that really engage their audience and build a stronger sense of community online.
Yeah, I've seen some brands do that really well. Turning their customers into brand ambassadors. It's like a win-win. The customers get to show off their style, and the brand gets your free marketing and social proof.
Exactly. And it taps into that desire for authenticity and connection
Right.
that Gen Z values so much.
Beyond technology, what other areas do you see as opportunities for Uniqlo?
Well, sustainability is a huge opportunity. We talked about their existing initiatives, but they could really push the envelope in terms of using innovative eco-friendly materials, minimizing waste throughout their supply chain, and, really becoming a leader in circular fashion.
So it's not just about doing the bare minimum. It's about setting ambitious goals and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. In terms of sustainable fashion,
Right. They could partner with organizations that are working to develop, new sustainable textile technologies, support initiatives that promote ethical labor practices, and, become more transparent about their environmental impact. They could even explore ways to offer clothing rental or subscription services, which are becoming increasingly popular, as a way to reduce consumption and promote circularity.
those are some really interesting ideas. It seems like Uniqlo has the potential to become a real game changer in the sustainable fashion space.
They definitely have the infrastructure and the resources to make a significant impact. It all comes down to their willingness to invest in innovation and their commitment to making sustainability a core part of their brand identity.
All right, so let's wrap this up. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into Uniqlo
Yeah.
and their success with Gen Z. We've explored their strengths, their challenges, their opportunities,
hmm
and their overall approach to fashion. What are your final thoughts? Do you think Uniqlo is poised to become like the leading fashion brand for Gen Z?
It's hard to predict the future with absolute certainty, especially in the ever-evolving fashion industry. But I think Uniqlo has a lot of things working in their favor. They've built a solid foundation based on quality, affordability, and a timeless aesthetic that really resonates with Gen Z's values. They're also demonstrating a commitment to sustainability and a willingness to adapt to the changing needs and desires of their target audience.
So they're not just chasing those fleeting trends, they're building a brand with a strong sense of purpose and a long-term vision.
Exactly. And that's a recipe for enduring success, of course. They'll need to stay agile, innovative, and responsive to the ever-changing demands of the market. But I think they have the potential to become a true leader in the fashion industry, not just for Gen Z, but for all generations that are seeking style, comfort, and sustainability.
I love that. Style, comfort, and sustainability. What a great combination. This has been a fascinating deep dive. I feel like I have a much better understanding of why Uniqlo has become such a phenomenon,
Yeah,
especially among those younger shoppers. Thanks for sharing your insights.
it's been a pleasure. I always enjoy exploring the intersection of fashion, culture, and consumer behavior.
And for our listener, if you're intrigued by Uniqlo's approach to fashion, we encourage you to check out their website or visit one of their stores to experience it firsthand. You might just discover your new favorite wardrobe staples. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Uniqlo and Gen Z. Until next time, keep exploring.